We're talking to Noor Siddiqui, who is the founder and CEO of Remedy at just 20 years old. And tell us a little bit about Remedy.
Sure, so what Remedy does is we solve the problem of how do you get access to specialists right away rather than having to wait several weeks to get a specialist appointment. So what the product does, it's on wearables, it's on Google Glass, it's on mobile devices, it's on Android tablets, and what it does is it allows the provider at the point of care to consolidate the key things that are wrong with you and forward that to a specialist who can get back to you right away.
And what inspires you to come up with this idea?
I think that it's pretty obvious that it shouldn't be easier for you to catch a cab with Uber or for you to drop files in Dropbox than it should be for you to get answers to really urgent medical questions. And when I went into hospitals, people were being transferred to and from different facilities, and they were holding huge wads of paper charts. They were burning things onto CD-ROMs. And while it's not really about how the new sexy technology, it's about why are patients waiting so long for something as critical and as important as their health records. So yeah, the mission and the vision behind Remedy is, healthcare should be the place that is the easiest to access, not the most difficult. And that's obviously the opposite of the way it is right now.
It's great. It's a really noble cause, and adapting emerging technology for something like healthcare as opposed to fashion or something like that is a bit more reputable. Is that something that you strive to do as an entrepreneur, to kind of solve a real global issue rather than just kind of facilitate consumerism?
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think that young people today, their icons shouldn't be Mark Zuckerberg. They should be something like Jimmy Wales, someone who's building a product like Wikipedia that's really powerful and useful for everyone, and not just something that's going to drive more ad revenue. I think that wearables are a great trend, and they're really useful in healthcare because physicians are deskless, screenless workers. They're hands-free, and we've seen a lot of adoption for Google Glass in the medical world because when you're examining a wound, or you're doing a physical exam, you're using your hands. So it's something where being hands-free is really valuable. And again, like mobile technology is really valuable in healthcare because physicians don't want to be tied to their desks either, right? They're going from exam room to exam room, patient to patient, and they need something that's quick and easy to use.
And you mentioned Jimmy Wales and Wikipedia there. The idea behind that is very much supported by a community. Is that something that you would investigate as an entrepreneur, kind of maybe crowdsourcing things or opening up data and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think that the community aspect is interesting about Wikipedia. I think the more important point that I was trying to hit home is that the reason why young people are getting into things isn't because they want to make a lot of money, but because they want to solve a really big problem. And I think that access to information, Wikipedia, organizing that is really important. And I think similarly, the really big industries that need a lot of innovation today are healthcare, education, and government. And it's not going to be easy. They're really difficult problems, and there's a lot of legislation that's stopping that. But I think that it's really important, so it needs to be done. So, I think Nelson Mandela said, everything is impossible until it's done. So you can either spend 12 hours a day working on a photo sharing app, or you can spend 12 hours a day trying to, solve problems that are really going to affect people's lives.
And as a young person with such a great idea and something that could really have an impact, do you have trouble getting people to take you seriously and how far you want to take this, or have you gotten a lot of support?
No, honestly, we've gotten a lot of support for the idea. I think that one of the big decisions that we made correctly right at the beginning was that we knew, myself and my co-founder, what our strengths were and what our weaknesses were. So, we definitely have on our board of advisors really prominent clinicians from, Mayo, Penn, Harvard, who, have a lot more credibility in the medical world than we do, obviously. And similarly on the technology side, we have, the founders of Skype on our board. We have, people who've been 30 years in the industry who understand a lot of the complexity that we don't. We want to drive the product vision and the company strategy, but there's no reason why we shouldn't bring on more seasoned people to. When you're starting a company, you want to bring on people who are better than you at things. So that's what we're doing.